In this lesson, we'll build knee controls. For the knee controls, to make them descriptive, we could actually use the text tool. So for the knee, we'll create a K-text curve. And then for the elbow, when we get there, we can use an E for elbow. So we'll head over to Create, Text, Options. All right, and we can make sure our settings are reset. So from here, again, we're going to create a K that represents the knee. And then from here, we could even adjust the font if we wanted to for a different style. So let's say we use Impact, or whichever you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and use Impact. There it is. All right. So with this all set, again, we're using curves for our shape type. We'll go ahead and choose Create, and there it is. All right, now when you create a curved text in Maya, let's go ahead and check this out. Go to Window, Outliner. It's actually grouped under two groups. So what we'll need to do to clean this up is to get rid of both groups, leaving just the curve. To do that, selecting the top group, we can go ahead and choose Edit, Ungroup. Selecting that last group, once again, we'll go ahead and run that same ungroup command. We could just press the G key to rerun that. And now we're left with just the curve. The reason why we don't need those groups is because when we go ahead and select the curve in Maya, we're actually selecting the curve. We're not selecting any of those groups at all, so it doesn't make any sense to leave those behind. It just adds more clutter to our scene, and we want to keep things as clean as we possibly can. All right, so now we have this curve there, but if we were to go to our Move tool, you can see that we definitely need to center pivot on this. Since we're going to be using that quite a bit, the center pivot command, let's go ahead and add that to our shelf. We'll hold down Control-Shift, choose Modify Center Pivot. Okay, so with the curve selected, I'll go ahead and choose that. And then we can start to scale this down so it's not so large. Okay, so once you find a size that you like, you can go ahead and now snap this to the knee. So go into the Move tool, I'll hold down the V key and middle mouse button, click and drag. From there, we'll press Control-D to copy this, and then snap the copy to the right knee. Now what we could do is select both and move them out at the same time. Okay, I'd like to even scale this down just a little bit more so it's not too large. All right, so the reason why we want to just go ahead and move this out in one axis, okay, we don't want to move this out in the x-axis, definitely not, just the z-axis, is because we don't want this chain to kind of shift as we apply our constraint to connect our twisting from the IK handle right into this control. So do be mindful of that. Make sure that you just move these out in the z-axis. Now if your leg is at a slant, then overcoming that shifting problem is a little bit trickier. But in this case, it's going to work out very well for us. All right, so with all of these, or both of these controls selected, we can go ahead and freeze transformations to clean them up. Shouldn't be any history to delete on any of them, so that's fine. And we can go ahead and rename them. So on the left side, that's going to be left underscore knee control 01. I'll copy the name, bring that over to the right side, and rename. Okay, now from here, let's go ahead and color code these. So again, for the left side, we're using blue, the right side, red. I'll press Control-8, head over to the attribute editor, enable overrides on that blue we've been using, and take care of the right side. Okay, great. I'll press Control-A to get back to the attribute or the channel box. All right, so now to hook this up, we need to use a pole vector constraint. So we select our control object first, select the IK handle next, and go ahead and choose Constrain Pole Vector. Notice no shifting has occurred. And as we go ahead and start to move this knee control around, you can see it's actually controlling our knee twisting. All right, let's go ahead and take care of the right side. Again, select the control object, select the IK handle, and we can press the G key to rerun that. You can see the connection has been made. So we start to move this control. It's controlling the knee. All right. Great. Well, from here we can go ahead and select both. And we'll lock and hide the rotation, scale, and visibility channels. We just want to move their position. Okay, so that's going to finish up our knee controls. Okay, there wasn't nothing much to it. And with that now done, our next task is going to be to start working on upper body controls. So let's bring our attention to that in the next lesson.